Hello and welcome back to Toys on Trial, Season 2, the show where we eviscerate the time-honoured plastic of our youth, one questionable design at a time.
I'm Michael. I couldn't think of a funny last name this week.
And I'm Rod. Nice to see you again. Rod is funny enough. So they let us back for a second season. Can you believe that?
I'm shocked and appalled too. I mean, this is what apparently entertainment qualifies as these days.
Well, that's right. But, you know, and we're back with a bigger budget, slightly different setting. In other words, we repositioned the table so we're a lot more comfortable and so forth.
Thank you once again to Aaron's Collectible. Oh my God, Season 2, yes!
OMG, that's right. They let us back.
Thank you. Thank you once again to Aaron's Collectibles for hosting us and allowing us to do this wonderful show here week after week.
Indeed. Quick plug, most of what you see here is for sale at any stage.
Including us.
Yeah, well, yeah, negotiable. We'll talk.
Hi, Christy. Yes, we're back.
Hello, Christy. Welcome. Lovely to see you again. So, Season 2, hey?
Yeah.
What is this? 2 seasons in 1 year. What are we, Cobra Kai? That's amazing.
No Kai, just Cobra.
No. Cobra! Okay, so if you're just joining us for the first time, our whole shtick is as such. We look at the toys we grew up with all the way up until the present day, and we try to look at nostalgia with a critical eye. And we look back and think, okay, we enjoyed it. You know, this was fun to use and play with, but how well has it aged really? And would this be made today? If so, why not? And the worst of the worst will be met with harsh judgment by the Honourable Bonk, the judge presiding.
All rise in the presence of Judge Bonk.
That's as much as you get. We're in our 40s now, our knees are giving out. And this is Bonk, the judge. When things go bad, expect that.
God, we really did make our parents buy a lot of tat for us, didn't we?
We did. Now, so far, if you remember last season or
previously on Toys on Trial,
we don't have a clip, so it'll just be me yapping at you. So we're running things a little bit differently this season. So last time we looked at toy lines specifically, one at a time. What did we go through? We looked at Masters of the Universe.
We looked at Transformers.
We looked at G.I. Joe.
We looked at Star Wars.
And we looked at Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
And something else.
No, it was the fun. And yes, for our final episode recap, we did a best of the best. Now,
the Hall of Fame edition of our show.
The Hall of Fame edition.
It's going to be a highlight each season, I think.
I hope so. Because it's not just about tearing apart toys that we look back at and go, yikes. We do want to celebrate the stuff we actually love and then get to the stuff that didn't age so well.
With that in mind, we have a new segment here on Toys on Trial, segment which we're calling Exhibit A. Rod and I are both avid toy collectors.
To this day.
And we thought it might be fun to show off a few items that we may have garnered during the week.
Yes, as we're habitual toy buyers, hoarders, collectors, buyers. Sorry. You can trust that we'll probably pretty much picking up something by the week. Now, if that fits your description as well, feel free to share with us what you've picked up during the week or the month or whatever. We do like to keep it a bit show and tell. So we'll start with you, Mike. What did you pick up during the week? What is your Exhibit A? What do you bring before the court?
My Exhibit A is, as you well know, the Masters of the Universe Origins line. It's pretty hot bananas right now.
It is. I'm a fan myself.
Is hot bananas a word? Anyway.
Is now.
So one of my pickups during the week was this delightful Mantenna figure from the Masters of the Universe Origins line. Now, Mantenna was always a bit of a WTF in He-Man, but we loved him for it.
He was one of the real first big departures from the sort of core aesthetic, wasn't he?
Did you actually realize he had 4 legs?
No,
when you had the original toy?
No, the original toy, if I recall, has 2 legs, but sculpted 4. If you may have owned it yourself, have a look at it. This time, I believe they've actually given him the proper 4 legs.
They have indeed given him the proper 4-legged treatment. I mean, I don't know if you can see it there, but he very much has 4 legs.
Now, Mike, are you going to open this or leave it on the card?
Well, this one's yours. So I've already opened mine.
Oh, well, maybe you're after, one to keep carded and one to open. Now,
well, generally that is what I do, but yes, in this case, I believe you're going to rip that one open and have a wonderful time with it.
You got me there. That's actually mine. But it counts as Mike's because Mike picked up his own during the week. I just don't happen to have it on it right now. When you have opened it, haven't you?
I have, yes.
Yep. Thoughts?
Look, honestly, it's an example of the line at its best. It's taking the original design and modernizing it, upping the articulation, and just generally making it amazing.
Wonderful.
Wonderful. How about you, Rod?
Well, my exhibit A, if you will, for the week, similarly, was Pighead from the Masters of the Universe Origins line. Now, Pighead was not a classic figure back in the 80s. I'll pop it a little bit closer to them. There you go. Pighead, simple, green, ugly, sort of
reminds me of a chap I used to work for.
Indeed. Me too, actually. Okay. Now, this was not originally a Masters of the Universe figure. This belonged to a small line called Sunman. Now, Sunman himself was released by Masters of the Universe Origins, I believe, in the previous wave.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so they've sort of brought that, which was kind of a, if you will, a He-Man knockoff line back in the day.
As you recall, we actually covered the Rulers of the Sun toy line in our Masters of the Universe episode.
And the Sunman line has now been made canon. And this is the next figure in the line. The nemesis of Sunman, the clever
Very
man,
astute, Daniel. It's
Pighead.
because he wasn't in the series. This is a new character to the line, but still a classic character from the 80s. From another toy line.
The original Sunman line from the mid-80s was by a company called Olmec, I believe.
Olmec, yes, that's correct.
And Mattel, Masters of the Universe, have incorporated that into the Eternian family.
With the full knowledge and cooperation of the founders of Olmec Toys, which I thought was pretty cool.
Which was fantastic.
Anyway, we've already covered this.
So that is Rod's Exhibit A.
Now,
let us know your Exhibit A at any point throughout the show tonight.
Yes, please.
We'd love to hear about what you picked up.
We know a lot of our audience are collectors, so by all means, let us know if you pick up anything cool. We'd love to hear about it. Now,
the Remy. Let's talk about the Remy. Now, last season, if you joined us, we had a worst of all, the baddest of the bad. We had the worst of all toys that we came up with of the ones we looked at. Now, spoiler alert, you can now watch the entire first season on YouTube if you like. I strongly encourage it. But we did have a winner. Now, the winner is the recipient of what we call the Golden Remy. Now, Mike, tell us about the Golden Remy, as this was your brainchild, wasn't it?
Well, this was actually part of the original discussion between Rod and I that led to this show. We decided that Ram Man, again from the Masters of the Universe line, is a truly awful toy. It's shocking.
Wonderful character. If you ever watched the cartoon, he was great.
This one, by the way, even though it's been spray painted gold, still works.
Indeed.
So every season, I was going to say every year, but we're not an annual thing. Every season, we are going to pick the worst of what we have discussed over the time. For instance, this year, the Golden Remy may go to pop vinyl as a concept.
Although that is low-hanging fruit. I think
that is indeed low-hanging fruit.
Yeah, it's kind of cheap to just give it to a pop vinyl because it's
no, it's just to pop vinyls in general. But yes.
Well, yeah.
But for instance, our winner of the Golden Remy last season.
Oh, last season's winner. What was it, folks?
Last season's winner. Anyone
Bring
remember?
Up an image.
Oh, so every season it gets worse and worse. Yeah.
We hope so.
We certainly hope so. Well, it's what keeps you guys watching.
Okay.
The Flush-O-Matic, ladies and gentlemen.
That's all right. The Flush-O-Matic by the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Playmates line took the prize for the most WTF toy that we could possibly think of. And this season, we're also going to be putting it to fan votes as well. So if you're our viewer, please and thank you. Let us know episode after episode what you think is the worst of what you've seen here. And when we get to the end of the season, we hope to be hearing from you.
Hey, you complained about Pops, but you were happy to borrow my Goldblum.
Well, it was honestly, on topic, wasn't it?
It's shirtless Jeff Goldblum. I think that one gets a pass.
And it's in context, because what are we looking at today, Mike?
We are looking at dinosaurs.
Indeed, dinosaur toys. We are moving away from specific toy lines. Mike and I figured that we would run out of material pretty quickly if we did that. And so we're opening up to themes, and that's what it will be from now on, because you never run out of themes, do you?
We're going to run out of themes at some point.
We won't run out of themes, trust me. I got ideas. Okay.
Cunning plans.
Now, let's bring in the accused. Or rather, let's bring in the good. The upstanding citizens.
Something to be celebrated. So tell me, friendly audience, unlimited themes, yes. Friendly neighborhood audience, who remembers the old dine-in Pizza Huts? Weren't they just magnificent?
Oh, you don't mean.
That distinctive thatched roof.
Oh.
Those wonderful personal pan pizzas that they bring out in the hot pans, and you burn your bloody hand getting to them.
The free refill dessert. The time
dessert
I was
bar.
totally not asked to please leave a Pizza Hut because I had my head under the ice cream thing going like it.
It's last Thursday.
That never happened. Or at Sizzler. Okay. But
right.
yes. What's that got to do with dinosaurs, Mike? We're talking about Pizza
Well,
Hut here.
One thing, I'm going to unlock a core memory for our entire audience right now.
Oh, you don't mean.
I do.
You do mean.
I very much mean. If you were alive in the
1989.
1989, they also say, "You're welcome after everything you say." What else can I say except you're welcome?
Was it Moana?
That was Moana, yes.
Oh, I love that. We should do a Disney thing sometime. Pixar.
Yeah, we can absolutely do a Disney theme sometime.
Lovely.
Talk after the show.
Oh, we wouldn't run out of themes.
All right, so who remembers the Pizza Hut Land Before Time puppets? Those
you're out there.
things were amazing. And as it happens, we got one right here. And we've got one that's not in the picture.
Oh, really? We have Spike's not in the picture.
Spike was not.
This is Spike, ladies and gentlemen. He was such a cute character. He was just this humble little thing. I don't know if you've seen Land Before Time, and it has more sequels than the bloody Fast and the Furious. But it was a wonderful, funny, heart-wrenching movie. One of those 80s,
I believe they're doing a Land Before Time Fast and the Furious crossover at some point.
I'm not surprised. I mean, apparently they've gone into space in the last one. I don't know.
Last Land Before Time or the last Fast and the Furious?
No, the last Fast and the Furious.
Oh, God.
Yeah, right. Anyway, so Land Before Time, one of those 80s classics films at the tail end of the 80s, 1989, and Pizza Hut left us with these wonderful hand puppets. And I got to tell you, I don't know about you, Mike, the greatest lament I have as an adult is that these things no longer fit my hands. Look at this. That's as far as we get. It's not fair. All those memories gone. All we can do is now just look at them in glass cabinets.
I want you to know something, Rodney.
Yes.
I have just censored myself. The line that was absolutely inappropriate for this show. Put the puppet back.
Okay. We'll save that for Toys on Trial After Dark.
Yes, indeed.
But
I actually have the pterodactyl puppet. I had Petrie.
Oh, Petrie! You remember their names? Lovely.
Yeah, there was Petrie. There was Ducky. Very sad what happened to the actress who played Ducky.
Oh, what happened?
Killed by her father, unfortunately.
Son of a...
Yeah. Well,
that's the wrong kind of dinosaur.
That's the wrong kind of dinosaur.
Anyway, if we are going to be looking at bad dinosaur toys, and believe me,
Fast and the Furious 12, The Land Before Time, they steal a DeLorean. Yes!
See, you
Show me a ticket now!
You joke, Aaron. That'll happen.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. No, not only have they jumped the shark is over here.
Yeah. So, yes, The Land Before Time puppets, absolutely immune to the bonk, to never be bonked.
Indeed. If we're going to be looking at the real pests of dinosaur society, we need to also acknowledge the good.
We do indeed.
The calm before the storm.
So
what else
before, before coming to the show tonight, before coming to the Toys on Trial studio, also known as Aaron's Collectibles, Main Street, Blackburn, for all your collectible needs. Cheap plug! I stopped by a $2 shop and had a look at some of this tat I picked up.
Okay.
We have Dino World. That I somehow doubt that Triceratops was a shiny chrome blue in color. And check this out. We've got a Pachycephalosaurus that is black with purple polka dots.
Now, do you remember their names, or did you just really hardcore do your research as a kid?
I really hardcore did my research as a kid.
Or on the way here?
I could literally name every one of these dinosaurs.
We plan on righting an egregious wrong tonight, ladies and gents. We do realize
Except this one. I literally do not know what the F this thing is.
We realize that most of you are adults watching this, and we know that as adults, people have absolutely stopped asking you what your favorite dinosaur is.
What is your favorite dinosaur?
It's like they don't even care. You know,
let us know in the comments. What's your favorite?
Let us know. We want to know what your favorite dinosaur is.
We're an interactive show
we
here
still
on Toys
care.
on Trial. That's how you know we're live.
Absolutely. What was your favorite dinosaur?
Ooh, that's actually an excellent question. I like all of them. Okay. My favorite specific dinosaur. I went to the Sydney Museum about 3 years ago.
Yep.
The Australian Museum of National History. Now, at the Australian Museum of National History, they have a dinosaur display, like most museums.
Right.
So skeletons, there's models in various states of decomposition, because apparently that's a thing with dinosaurs. Half these things on the table have...
are in various stages of decomposition? Because
Various
they're old
stages.
toys?
Well, I was going to say various stages of battle damage, but moving on.
Well,
Right in the middle of this dinosaur display, there is an Ankylosaurus. Now, for those unaware, I don't think we've got one here, but an Ankylosaurus is like a tank. It's armored body, spikes on the side, club on the tail. My 5-year-old asked me 2 weeks ago, the Diplodocus. Yes, yeah, big fan of the Dippy.
oh, yes.
He was a big boy.
Not unlike the Brachiosaurus.
And Daniel Sullivan, Triceratops was my favorite. I think we've got a Triceratops.
We have to have
skeleton
a
right
trike
here.
here somewhere. It's one of the major food groups
There
of
we
dinosaurs.
Go, that's our Triceratops.
We have a dead one. Will you settle
Yeah.
for its bones?
In honor of what did they end up calling the Triceratops at Melbourne Museum? Horridus? Anyway, so yeah, so about halfway down this dinosaur display, there is an Ankylosaurus, body armored, looking just fine, stepping off the display and like into the crowd, as if this particular Ankylosaurus is saying, "Stuff this, I'm off to the pub."
That's beautiful.
I know, right?
Yeah.
So specifically, that Ankylosaurus, that dinosaur, is my favorite dinosaur.
I like that you not only have a favorite dinosaur, you have a favorite specific dinosaur.
Yep.
Not this type of dinosaur, this exact dinosaur.
That
Him.
exact dinosaur.
Whatever his name, him or her name was. Now,
I'm gonna call
speaking
him
of
Jerry.
Jerry.
Jerry the Ankylosaurus.
looked like a Jerry?
Looked like a Jerry.
Now, Diplodocus or Diplodocus. I think it's Diplodocus in Australia.
My favorite dinosaur would be Yoshi in Mario Kart Wii. Blam!
Oh, well,
There is actually a photo of me on my Facebook in a Yoshi onesie from Archie Brothers over on the Docklands a while back.
If we're still on good dinosaur toys, I would be remiss not to show this bad boy. Now, you mentioned Diplodocus. This is not a Diplodocus, but probably the closest thing we have.
Very badly.
Oh,
Horridus is at the museum.
that's all right. I'm a professional. I work in a toy shop. I can move things about without knocking them
That's
over.
bigger than Mike.
Famous last words. Look at this beautiful specimen of a Brachiosaurus from, I believe, the most recent Jurassic World line.
I believe you're correct.
Yep.
This thing's bigger than my cat.
It is.
Hang on.
Not sure if it comes apart, but it is articulated.
Oh, there we go.
Yep, so that goes down. The tail moves as well, and the arms and legs. If you are actually interested, again, cheap plug, if you are interested in this bad boy and or girl, it's for sale currently at
Goes for $169, that long boy.
Can he put it back without knocking anything over, ladies and gentlemen?
Once again, this
He
is how you
has
know we're
done
live.
I'd say no, we're live.
Look at the size of the thing in Rod's lap.
Oh, what? This is a family show, please.
I believe he's talking about Klaus.
Oh, Klaus? Klaus. Oh, right. This is Klaus.
Yes. We actually have a new member of the crew here on Toys on Trial.
We do. In our hunt for dinosaur toys to show and tell today, we accidentally met somebody. I'll make that sound romantic.
And it was love at first sight.
It really was. Okay, again, from the most recent Jurassic World toy line films, I think we have Blue, the hand pup. This one actually fits an adult hand, wrist, sort of. Whether or not you consider me an adult. But,
Would you like to introduce yourself to the lovely people, Klaus?
Yes, we were playing with this last night. We decided, introduce yourself. Hello, my name is Klaus. I'm interested in backgammon. I love Nicholas Sparks novels. I'm 39 years old, single, vegan. Yes, we do exist. Do not judge.
No one
I don't
is
judge you and your life choices. And I'm just happy to be on the show tonight. Michael, you're looking ravishing in that scarf. Thank you.
Oh, you took
Hello,
time,
gentle
Klaus.
viewers. Sorry about the red eyes. I've not been smoking the devil's lettuce, as you'd call it. This is just how I'm born, really. Yes. And the blue is natural. I will not hear any words otherwise. Thank you. Do not diet.
All right. So,
I do diet. I do CrossFit, but diet. I do not die it. What is it? This is not hair. This is my skin. This is my. I swear, good. I would be in my trailer. That was
on.
Klaus. May or may not see him again, but moving on.
So yes. And another thing I picked up at this $2 shop was this delightful specimen. Now, It's got a little Velociraptor in the back cage there.
Mm-hmm.
Have a look at the front of that. I mean, what on earth?
Now, this confuses me somewhat. Is the car meant to be a dinosaur in and of itself as well? Or is it just transport a dinosaur?
Well, I'm assuming it's to transport a dinosaur, but
It looks like a circus truck. It's looked like it's, you know, they've
Where
captured
would-
a dinosaur for the big top.
where indeed? I mean, if the driver's sitting in there, because this is basically a Humvee with a cage on the back and a dinosaur head on the front. How do you see?
I feel like
How
we're
do you
now
drive
getting.
this thing?
I feel like we're now getting into the bad.
You know what? That's happening.
Bonk it.
Judge Bonk, have you reached a verdict?
We speak chicken. That was guilty.
Indeed.
Seriously, I thought he was just up for community service. But if we're really
No,
getting to the crux of the case,
Bad Toy Jail, it even brought its own cell.
indeed, do not pass go. Do not collect $200. There are dinosaur toys, and then there's this. I'm sorry, a bridge too far for us.
Indeed.
Now,
Just stick your head out the window. Yeah, Ace Ventura style.
now we do have some.
And
We still,
what is the bet, though, that me going like this is going to end up being the thumbnail for this video on YouTube?
that I believe is up to our.
Tell us,
prediction.
are Bonk and Klaus related? They may well be.
Well, Bonk, if it is to believe that the raptor is a ancestor of the chicken, then I suppose technically, you know.
And this is the thing. So many of these dinosaur movies had the gigantic, terrifying raptors of Klaus's ilk.
Mm.
I believe recent evidence has shown that velociraptors were more angry chickens.
Yes. I think Klaus has some opinions on that.
And I'm sure Klaus
Let's
does.
say you could. How dare you bring my ancestry into this? I may be related to a chicken, but I'm not related to that chicken.
Not this chicken specifically.
No, ACAB, all chickens are bastards. What are you talking about? Good Lord.
Okay.
I am a libertarian, sir. Good day. Okay, enough of that. We're here to talk about dinosaurs and not
I think our show's
not
taken a-
archaic politics.
I think our show has taken a turn.
Our show has taken a turn. Let's get it back on track, shall we? Okay.
All right. So what do we got?
Now, who
Raptors are just methed out chickens.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Who? You're not wrong, actually. That's probably It's better. Look, better explanation. than I
Honestly,
have.
that's smarter than anything you or I've said.
Now
this
let's bring
entire
it. Let's bring it on back. We have some good dinosaur toys. Now, if you're a dinosaur fan in the 80s, 90s, what have you, even now, there was some great stuff on offer. That was pretty on brand, depending on what the toy line was, or whether or not it was a film property. Say, for instance, we have the Jurassic Park Pterodon from 1993. Perfectly serviceable, more or less to scale with the figures that the Kenner released for this line, I believe.
I
slightly
think
smaller.
they took a few liberties with the color.
Yeah,
And the JP 0.05.
it has the JP stamp on it. I think that's obviously a Kenner thing. Just so that you know, amongst all your other dinosaur toys, you knew that you were getting the quality. So the JP is kind of like
the JP tramp stamp.
the JP seal of approval. The tramp stamp, if you will, yes. Okay, so
that was the Jurassic Park toy line at its finest.
these were honestly also pretty good for what they were. Who remembers the Dinosaur show? Right, hot off the back of 2 live-action Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles films, 1991 gave us the show Dinosaurs, where it was a similar principle. We had
Also the last thing Jim Henson ever worked on.
Indeed, we had people in puppet suits, and it was basically The Simpsons in dinosaur form.
Toys on
And-
Trial secret. Rod actually doesn't know how the show finishes. Nobody tell him.
The show Dinosaurs, I have heard that it kind of has a very
Not
downer
the mama,
ending,
indeed.
a bit like Alf did. Remember the series Alf? Yeah,
He's back in pulp form.
yeah, that was that had a downer ending.
That did.
Yeah, you almost want to watch Requiem for a Dream for a pick me up afterwards. Anyway, Dinosaurs, the TV show, had its inevitable merchandise. We've got the big baby here, which I think was just called Baby, wasn't it?
That was indeed.
Now I believe this one still works.
Actually, no. They did name him at one point. They had the dinosaur priest that was conducting the criticism, the christening, not the criticism, that too.
If any of you remember the baby's name from this show, please let us
Actually,
know.
the baby's name was Cough Cough I'm Dying, You Idiot.
Oh, okay. Well, this one actually still talks. You speak, baby. What does it say?
That just said I'm going to bite you now. I am sure, though, that given that this toy is 35 odd years old, I'm pretty sure that it would have been quite a lot slower when it was new.
Indeed. And
Somehow
you know what?
it's sped up. I'm the baby, gotta love me.
For all intents and purposes, these were really good toys.
Keep that to yourself, Daniel.
For all intents and purposes, these were really good toys. They were supposed to replicate what we saw in the Dinosaur sitcom.
Did a pretty good job of it.
And they did a pretty good job of it. Not only did we get like a basically a 1-to-1 scale baby, we also got, you know, little PVC figures. Now these were at a good price point. You know, they weren't too expensive. You could buy them. They looked like the characters from the show.
Baby one.
There was even got Fran here, the mum, little finger puppets. So again, not bad. You know, obviously they don't look like dinosaurs, but none of the source material did anyway. So, you know, technically it gets a pass.
I'm at Aaron's got to spend money, I think.
True words never spoken. And of course, you know, for the Transformers fans in the room, the audience rather, you know, we have the mighty Grimlock. Hard to hate this boy. He's so big and dumb, but honestly, he was self-esteem goals. If we all had the what's it?
Me
sense
Grimlock,
of worth.
me Grimlock, giant dinosaur, not tiny potato. Me Grimlock, believe in you. You can do the thing.
Me no bozo, me king. If we all had the self-esteem of Grimlock, I think the world would be a much better place. Now, back to the bad.
Back to the bad. Shall we get extreme?
Bring in the next accused.
Shall we get extreme?
Oh, there's not much more extreme than this. If you're thinking, if you're
beg to
doing,
differ.
okay, now we're really jumping the shark.
What is going on?
The street shark,
here?
if you will.
I can't actually work out how this is supposed to work.
Okay, now we are now looking at extreme dinosaurs.
No back. Oh, right. Okay, so apparently it's got this sort of alien dual mouth thing going on.
Oh boy. Okay, so we're already ripping off other IPs.
This alien
Mouth within a mouth
slash moray eel thing going on.
Yeah.
You know, when you're down by the sea and an eel bites your knee, that's a moray.
Okay, so I think
When the jaws open wide and there's more jaws inside, that's a moray.
So I hope Ridley Scott and James Cameron had some words for whoever made these.
This thing, on the other hand, appears okay.
Now, is this an extreme dinosaur as well?
I believe that is, yes.
Okay, now these things, if I recall, had cool action features, but you know, there's extreme dinosaurs, and then there is telling your kids that you're stupid, and you know, dinosaurs were bipeds and had short. And they were bipeds, weren't they? A lot of them.
Some were bipeds, yes, but I don't recall that many of them wearing combat pants.
Yeah, I mean, this one has combat boots. He has what look like jeans. And
I mean, the less said about whatever the heck that is, the better. When you swim in the deep and something bites your cheek, that's a moray, yes.
That's a moray.
That's a moray. But yes, if you push down on the butt plug, out it comes.
Now, the thing is, you don't actually have to venture too far to satisfy kids with dinosaur toys. Because myself included, every kid growing up was obsessed with dinosaurs. Every kid I knew anyway. We all had our favorites. Because they were big monsters that legit existed once. Yeah. What's not to love? We saw them in, you know, coloring books, you know, picture books, this and that. And we had faithful dinosaur toys.
They made it into pretty much every franchise we loved. I mean, G.I. Joe even had dinosaurs at one point, didn't they?
Yeah.
Or didn't they go to like a Lost World type thing?
Again, feel free to chime in with your opinions. For me, this was a bridge too far. It didn't need to be. I think dinosaurs are cool enough in their own right.
I think they are too.
What say you, Mike?
Well, you, Mr. Telescopic Triceratops, have pled your case before the court. How do you find them, Judge Bonk?
That's a guilty verdict.
That's a guilty verdict.
We sentence you to another 30 years of obscurity. May the $2 box have mercy on your soul. Tidbit, they're actually worth a little bit more than $2. So, hey, everything has its...
and there goes Robbie.
There goes Robbie.
All right, so, what else have we got? Anyway, we were talking Jurassic Park earlier, but we did neglect to mention Jurassic Park post-shark jumping.
Oh, yes. Now, we have so far celebrated the Jurassic Park line.
Did Dinosaurs ever do a toy line? Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. More on that in just a moment.
More on that later.
Now, as I was about to say, we've granted some clemency with the Jurassic Park toy line so far. We have celebrated the highs of it. It was not without its lows, let me tell you that. Okay? Once we got away from the 1993 sort of movie faithful toys, if you will, we seriously started jumping the shark. Now, those of you who tuned in last season, we touched on what we call the neon era. There was a point in the early 90s where all the toys, properties, companies, whatever, they just had to make things as fluoro as possible. Why? It was the style at the time. I think like fashion too. I think my dad wore Happy Pants. You know, remember those from like 91, 92?
Sorry, I just had an image of my father wearing Happy Pants, and I think
Not happy.
I think I need to go for a lie down.
Yes, understood. So yeah, basically these were the Happy Pants equivalent of toys. Early 90s, everything was neon. Transformers, G.I. Joe, Turtles, you name it. Unfortunately, Jurassic Park or dinosaur toys in general were not immune to that. Let's take a look, shall we?
There we go.
This is where we jump the shark, folks.
Oh my lord, what even is that?
Now, this line, I believe, was called Jurassic Park Chaos Effect.
Yeah. Still with the tramp stamps.
Now, I don't know if that's a...
was it just because fluoroplastic was cheaper? Maybe.
Maybe. Or as Grandpa Simpson said, it was the style at the time.
Yeah.
A little bit of column A, a little column B.
I would have rather tie an onion up to my belt. But, I mean, look at that thing. You've got a Pteranodon with what would appear to be double row of Stegosaurus spikes. You've got, ironically, a feathered and quilled dinosaur on the left there that was probably more scientifically accurate now than it was when that toy was produced. You've got whatever the heck that one in the middle is, and you've got a T-Rex there that looks like it's on its way to a rave.
Seriously, the most faithful thing in that picture is the picture of Ian Malcolm. It actually does look like him.
Yeah, but notice two things. There's two Ian Malcolms in that picture.
Oh, good lord. That other one's Ian Malcolm as well, is it?
That other one is indeed Ian Malcolm.
All right, look, technically, we know because dinosaurs, died out long before we existed. So all we have really is their bones and, sort of scientific renditions of what we think. Like, we don't know definitively that they didn't have, wild colored fluorescent. But
yeah, but we're pretty sure they didn't.
Yeah, that's a leap even for
you know what, Rod?
They look like they're headed into a
You know
rave.
what, Rod? It's about to get worse. I really feel like crucifying this toy line for now. This is a line that never actually came out. Following the Chaos Effect series, this is from the Night Hunter line, and a few feathers, yes.
Oh, small mercy, actually. Take a look at this one, folks. Yikes.
Yeah, it's Pachycephalosaurus and AJ. I don't know who AJ is. So.
Not a character, I don't think. Not a character from any of the films.
But look at that, though. That's a hypercolor Pachycephalosaurus right there.
Yeah.
And in fact, I think there was a hypercolor shirt in that color scheme.
Yeah, if you were a raver in the late 90s, early 2000s, you're not looking for a JP logo on that thing. You're looking for the Gatecrasher logo, the little line.
Yeah, Ministry of Sound.
Ministry of Sound,
3D.
Doof Records, whatever. Does it come with glow sticks?
Well, maybe that's what those mean. You can call me A and you can call me J, yes.
And another thing, these things were packaged with a human figure. Don't think we didn't notice, Kenna. A lot of these human figures were just recolored. They were recolored figures from Aliens, the Aliens toy line.
The fact that Aliens have
For shame. They thought they'd get away with it with superpowers and Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves.
Yeah.
And now this.
Oh no, it's about to get worse.
It gets. Oh, good lord! Make it stop.
It gets worse. No, you know what? It's the season 2 premiere. We need to
go hard or go home.
Go hard or go
Does
home.
this court have a recess or what?
Yeah, this one never actually came out. Genetically mutated dinos gone bad. This is the Ultimasaurus. Now, I don't know if you can see down there in the lower left corner of the box, you've got all the dinosaurs that came together to form this Ultimasaurus. You've got a T-Rex body, Velociraptor claws, a Triceratops head. Hail Hydra, yeah.
It is a Frankensaurus.
It's a Frankensaurus. Ankylosaurus tail, I think. And Stegosaurus something. Maybe a Thagomizer, I don't know. And what were they thinking?
Look at this thing. Half its back is gashed out, and it's really embarrassed about it. Look how red his bloody head is.
I love how
what is that? Is that oil?
Probably. I love how the piece of its back that's been removed is just sort of sitting there and in the box, packed separately.
And what's the go with its eyes? It's got this yellowy tattoo around the eyes. Yeah, honestly.
You know what? Guys, we love you. We're going to give you a bit of a reprieve from that with our next photo.
Okay. We're going to take a brief recess. Please enjoy this picture of a shirtless...
Don't spoil it.
Dinosaur. Yes, a shirtless dinosaur. That's right.
God. You just completely ruined the surprise.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Honestly.
There you go. Just to
There you go.
There you go. Just to ease your suffering a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, isn't that
All right,
better?
everyone just take a deep breath.
A deep breath.
Court is now in recess.
But it has action jaws. I want it, I want it, I want it.
Okay, you know what?
Jeff Goldblum has action jaws.
Oh.
That's battle damage. Yes, that was battle damage.
Yeah, it was battle damage.
He's got some battle damage too, if you look.
He does, but he looks really cool.
Blows its horn and flips you off too.
It's like I have battle damage, but I'm just fine with it.
All right, so yes, Jurassic Park, Chaos Effect, and Night Hunter toy lines.
Guilty for mine. If I'm on the jury,
Yeah, I think Bog's with you on that.
just terrible. Just
Awful.
May
All right.
God have mercy on your souls.
Right, I've done a lot of talking tonight. What's up next?
What's up next? Oh, we subpoenaed a toy line, but they ignored the court summons. So they're in a lot of trouble now.
They are indeed, and I believe they were mentioned a little bit earlier.
They were mentioned in the comments, I believe. Now, when we say we subpoenaed a toy line and they did not show for their court date, we mean that we have something who gets the wooden spoon for it not actually coming out. Now, there was a show in the 80s called Dinosaurs. We know some of you remember that.
Honestly, you'd remember it for the theme song alone. That was a classic.
Yes. I sometimes get it confused with Denver the Last Dinosaur. Another great show.
Yeah.
Now, the crime of the Dinosaurs' toy line is as such.
No show.
We never got it. Pictures everywhere of finished toys, prototypes, box art, you name it. Never,
right here.
ever released. Naughty. I believe we have some images of it. There we go.
Yes, I mean, look at those things. A little bit dopey, sure, but you know what? They're not without its charm.
And they are on brand for the characters in the show.
Absolutely. I mean, you know, if you look at that's Filmation Ghostbusters level of.
Absolutely.
There's so much cheese in that show. They've been chasing parked cars.
Oh yes, absolutely. Now,
yep.
jog my memory. Who was responsible for this this ghostly toy line? Who was the maker?
I have no idea.
No idea. I want to say Tycho. Probably not Tycho.
They look kind of Tycho-y.
Yeah.
He-Man could fight them. Well, yes, he could.
Yeah, these are kind of good. They
been
sort of.
They would have been in scale with Motu.
Yeah, I think yes. We believe these were in scale to basically Masters
Terrible
of the Universe.
Thunder Lizards. I don't remember that. Do you remember that?
Oh, we're digging deep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to reassess our case file. Wonderfully.
Yeah.
But yes, these we never saw them.
Yeah, Playmates.
Which is a shame.
You know, they're a little. I was thinking Playmates, but they're a little too. This is going to sound awful. They're a little too good for Playmates. Playmates had this.
I was going to say they're not colourful enough.
They're not colourful enough. Yeah.
Yeah, if we're talking neon toys or bright, sensory colours to really grab kids' attention, Playmates, guiltiest of them all. Anyone who collects Toxic Crusaders knows what I'm talking about.
Yes. Anyway, so yes, Dinosaurs' toy line. You haven't actually bought anything yet in this show.
I haven't.
I think it's time you did.
Dinosaurs, you are charged with crimes against
crimes against collectors.
Crimes against collectors for not not rocking up to the hands of eager toy collectors and kids.
Us.
And
Really.
Honestly, us basically. So I'm sorry, you ignored your court summons, i.e. the shelves, and it's straight to jail for you.
Yeah.
What say you, Judge Bog? I'm sorry, Dinosaurs. Sorry. Okay.
You hit him quite hard there.
I did hit him quite hard.
Hmm.
So, we have looked at some of the best and the worst tonight, Mike.
Yeah, I believe that's pretty much it from the Dinosaurs line. Oh, wait, no. We've got one other thing to look at this evening.
Indeed.
Now, as I mentioned earlier, almost every beloved 1980s and 1990s toy franchise went through what we call a dinosaur phase. Transformers had the Dinobots and the little cassette dinosaurs. They were kind of cool.
I'll tell you what I told my parents. It's not a phase. I love dinosaurs.
But here's the thing. Masters of the Universe, a franchise that we've already mentioned this evening, near and dear to both Rod and my heart.
Assuming I have one, but go on.
What finally killed the toy line The Dinosaurs. Just
Now-
getting my little Batman and Robin reference in there. What's up, Dags?
Now, at the very core of this show is we are bringing up stuff that we, where possible, stuff that we have experience with at the time. You know, we had it when we were kids, this and that. At the core of our show is we bring up stuff we still have affection for, but look back and go, okay, this didn't work because A, B, or C.
So look at this. This is a Tyrannosaurus Rex toy with not just a fold-up seat in its back. I don't envy the veterinarian who put that in there.
No.
But a spinning drone that comes out of its stomach.
Okay. Gonna play devil's advocate here as this toy's lawyer. That drone was awesome. It had heft. I had this one. This was actually a very rare piece, even in 1987.
Still
You wind it up. I do. You wind it up, and it'll go the length of your house, even across carpet. That drone kicked ass. And also had this big mounted side gun on the dino's shoulder.
Until you fold up seat and drone, nature finds a way.
Indeed. Unfortunately, this masterpiece, I'm a fan. You know, I'll probably get overruled in our court of toys. I still love it personally, but this toy is charged with the murder of the Mattel Masters of the Universe line.
Not just this toy as well.
Not just this toy.
This toy had
accomplices. It had accomplices.
Had accomplices. And almost had more accomplices, but we'll get to that in a moment.
Indeed.
Ladies and gentlemen, presenting before the court, the Turbodactyl. And there was this real thing in the 1980s with both Motu and Transformers of pterodactyls with terribly brittle beaks.
Yeah, I have less
Easy for me
affection
to
for
say.
this.
And missile launchers under the wings.
This is all set in the fictional land of Eternia, if you follow Master of the Universe lore. Is
Pre-Turnia, for a terrible pun.
This is pre-Turnia, where they go to, the ancestral millions of years in Eternia, where it was actually called pre-Turnia for some reason. But the dinosaurs were still somehow cybernetic.
Yeah.
Okay. So I don't know how tech in Master Universe works. You just go with it. But this toy I have less affection for just because it was so damn breakable. You open this thing, this Turbodactyl, and straight away you've lost the top of it.
Yeah, Aaron, I'm not going to read that comment out. But, okay, there it is on screen. But I do agree with you.
Yeah, not for me. As a completist, I've got it, but still,
Yeah.
Not exactly the crown jewel of anyone's.
I skipped that.
Not exactly the crown jewel of any Motu
Now,
collection.
for the and finally, like our final journey to Preternia,
The surprise witness.
The surprise witness, if you will. And
The toy that almost was.
The toy that almost was. This is something that never actually made it out, probably due to the sheer size of it.
The WTF of it all. We have... It's actually a shame this never came out. This was called the Gigantosaur.
Automatically it rears up. That would have been interesting. Like you push a button on the back and it goes...
Now, this thing would have probably sent Mattel broke at the time. You know, the toy line was dying out.
Will it break if you hit it with a chicken? Well, the pterodactyl bloody will.
Absolutely. Now, this thing apparently automatically went up on its haunches, on its hind legs.
Yeah.
And also, if you can guys see the picture, this living dinosaur has compartments in it. Its chest and side and ribs open out, so you can actually have a literal turret.
Now, I don't know if any of you have actually seen the Motu Giants in real life, but the size of that thing, it dwarfs them.
Okay, the giants are about this big. They're about 14 to 15 inches tall.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can see that, guys, but yeah.
Yeah.
So
at its
imagine the dinosaur in relation to those.
Oh my lord! And look at it swallows, or theoretically swallows your figures.
That's right.
And a Motu figure. This is a Motu figure, right? And I'm just gonna. Yeah, it looks awesome. It does look pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like this is a Masters of the Universe figure. This is a 5.5-inch action figure.
That's right.
So I'm not saying it probably couldn't swallow this. This would probably get stuck in the throat because not even the Gigantosaurus wants to eat it.
Absolutely dwarfs it. Well, people talk about when people talk about 80s, the excess of the 80s, they're mostly talking about drugs and fashion and everything. But the toys, yeah, it was there. Look at the USS Flag from Hasbro, G.I. Joe.
Yeah, we've
7.5 feet
actually
long.
just mentioned in our comments the Moto version of the flag. I'd probably say that's Eternia.
Yeah.
Mm.
Between this Eternia, the 80s went hard for the toys, for better
They
or
did
worse.
indeed, and you know what? We love it for it.
Yeah, so that's our surprise witness for today, folks.
Yeah.
Now, I believe that
That pretty much wraps it up. So thank you for joining us this evening, everybody. Joining us in the courtroom here.
Now, what are we looking at next week?
What are we looking at next week? Well, next week, I believe we're opening some comics.
Oh, really? Yeah, I can think of a few collectors and viewers in mind who would probably look forward to this one.
So next week, we're going to take a look at Marvel and DC figures, specifically from the 80s. We think we'll cover the 90s at another time.
And that casts a wide net, guys. We're looking at X-Men figures from the 90s. We're looking at BTAS, Batman the Animated Series. And we're going back to Superpowers.
Secret Wars.
And Secret Wars. So probably right up all the way till, Marvel Legends and, whatever the current DC figures are called.
DC Multiverse.
DC Multiverse, yes.
Currently.
So,
Will Dino Riders be taking this? We forgot about Dino Riders.
Dino Riders.
How did we forget about Dino Riders?
Dino Riders.
Like we literally have them on the. You know what? Calling an extension.
Oh.
We're extending the episode, and we're talking Dino Riders.
All right, you asked for it, kids. We'll bring it to you. Dino Riders. Now.
We don't actually have a whole lot on hand here, unfortunately.
We don't.
As soon as they come into the shop, they tend to go.
We have a few here. Here's a little one here, and we have another little specimen down the front.
Yeah, we have this battle pack. Oh, we have DVD too. We actually have quite a bit of stuff. There we are. The biggest ever DVD. It just looks regular size to me, but all right.
Now, Mike and I spoke a little about this before tonight's episode. We have decided to give it a pass. By and large, this toy line fulfilled its purpose. It had an accompanying cartoon, and these were by and large pretty faithful to what we saw. If they
honestly, as far as scientific knowledge of dinosaurs was at the time, they were also pretty faithful to what they thought was real life.
Indeed. Now,
yeah,
if these
one thing you may not be aware of, Rod, is that they believe it was the Smithsonian Institute. That one is screaming for a live action movie. Oh yeah,
absolutely. I would be all over a dinosaur.
Yeah. One of the larger American museums actually repurposed the Dino Riders molds, stripped out the electronics from those that had electronics, and stripped out all the techie greedlies from the top, and just sold the toys as fairly accurate dinosaur toys.
Oh, wonderful. I mean, you remove the armor pieces and whatnot carefully because, I'll explain in just a moment. And, the dinosaur likenesses and colors for that matter are actually pretty good.
Pretty spot on.
I remember the T-Rex in this line was particularly impressive. Maybe because I was this tall, and so everything's much bigger then. But as a lifelong toy collector, I got to tell you, folks, I personally have steered away.
NASA Moon Landing Museum, was it?
I have steered away from this toy line just because of how delicate they are.
Yeah.
Okay, this is not for novice collectors. These things, the armor can, if you sneeze, they can break. So if you're a Dino Riders collector, great. I'm happy for you. Tread with caution.
Yep.
Okay.
Maybe don't. Maybe don't put it on me.
Maybe don't put it there. That's right. We're professionals with it.
Yeah, we are indeed. The show's nearly over anyway.
Wonderful. So thanks for joining us, folks.
Yeah. Would Klaus like to say goodnight?
Oh, Klaus, you still here, buddy? Klaus, where you at, son? Ah, there you are.
They found dinosaurs.
Hello. I'm just in my trailer, having a bit of what's it? Vaping. That's the one. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, that's what all the kids are doing these days.
I had a blueberry vape. I was a bit anxious being on here, so I took some CBD oil, and now I'm feeling good. The red eyes, once again, not related.
Now, Klaus, Aaron just brought up an excellent point about the moon. Have you ever been to the moon, Klaus?
Literally or figuratively?
Good night, everybody.
Don't answer that. Lovely to meet you all, Robin. Bye. Hope to see you again.
So, yes, we're leaving this up to the audience. If you would like to see Klaus the Dinosaur again, please let us know.
We might invite him back. Oh, please, can you? Maybe.
Yeah. But, of course, Bonk the Chicken, a permanent fixture on the show.
Thank you. The Honourable Judge Bonk. And I believe that is court adjourned. Thanks, folks.